Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Welcome, everyone, the world's finest, the DC Comics Review. I am your Batman, Phil Parrish, and with me is...
Tyler, the Superman of this podcast.
Of the Southgate Network, please.
I'll take that, too. I'll be the Superman of Southgate.
All right. Let's jump in. As everyone knows, we always start with the Bat books for review, and this portion is brought to you by Before the Bat, the Gotham podcast that me and Tyler host with Kelly. And Tyler, did you also see there's another Gotham show coming?
I heard about it, and I'm just kind of like, can't be as good as ours. What? But we'll support. No hate.
Yeah, like I said, we'll have to do a crossover show with Before the Bat and them. Yeah, it's already a pre-existing show. They're just becoming part of Southgate Media Group.
What's the name of the show? I can't remember.
I think is it Gotham Tonight?
That sounds familiar.
I saw something on there. I believe it's something like that.
Cool. Hey, I'm excited. Like I enjoy. The comic book's one of those things we can all talk. We can all say things differently. We can all, there's always something to discuss.
That's right. All right. But as I said, we'll start with the Bat books, as always. All right, the first one, Batman and Robin 39, where we see Damian Wayne, Bruce's son, the current Robin, now has superpowers.
Now, I just want to say to all of our fans out there, I did not get to read my books this week because we had an emergency. We had an funeral in the family, and I was unable to go and pick up my stuff. I've been out of town. So I will be learning tonight as much as you will be learning as well, as Phil educates us. So educate away, Phil. Educate away.
All right. Well, like I said, Batman and Robin 39, Damian Wayne has superpowers. The issue begins with him grabbing Penguin and Killer Croc and a bunch of other villains and basically warning them they stay in line, and he drags them to basically as high up as he can where they can still breathe.
This whole concept of Damian having superpowers and fighting Batman's regular villains always makes me think of that episode of Superman the animated series, Nighttime, where Bruce disappears and Superman runs into Robin.
Oh, yeah.
And Superman decides to put on the bat suit, and he ends up fighting Bane and all of them, and they're all like, what? I always think about...
Oh, I love that one where Superman dressed like Batman kicks over the Penguin's desk and almost puts it through the wall.
Exactly. That's kind of how I get this vibe of Damian being as... he could go that way.
Yeah, but I mean, basically Damian's going nuts with his powers, but he almost drops the villains until Batman catches them in the plane. So it almost looks like his powers might have blinked out for a second, so I don't know if he's keeping these powers. Probably not.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's just kind of, it's neat to have Damian back. Oh, he has powers. Oh, that's cool. Let's explore this, but let's really get him back to being Robin.
Yeah, but, so it looks like next, the issue ends, he goes up to the Justice League Watchtower with Batman, and he's up there with Superman and Shazam, and then they all go out do a mission, which is probably going to be next issue.
Nice.
Yep. But... It was a good issue. I love the art. As long as they keep this power thing temporary, I think this is a good storyline. I'll give it 4.5.
Okay. You know what? That sounds good. I'm with you. I don't want to see Damian Wayne superpowers for a long period of time, because it kind of, anytime you start putting everything in with the powers and everything in the Bat universe, it kind of takes us out of the Bat universe. I mean, for as much as possible in a comic book world, the Bat universe is supposed to be a little bit more believable and ordinary. and we're just sticking to the straight Bat books. So that's my interpretation, anyways.
But next up is Batman Eternal 46, and let's see. Yeah, well, of course, Batman's going over after Ra's al Ghul because he believes that's who's behind all his current problems, the city's current problems. But before we see him come face to face with Ra's, we see Catwoman at Blackgate Penitentiary. I guess in the New 52, her father isn't Carmine Falcone. It's another old gangster.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. That I'm just like, what is the family? It's I don't even remember the name like as being in any other comic or anything.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they just created them for Eternal.
That's what I feel like. I mean, I could be wrong, but
yeah, because the guy's nickname is the Lion. I've never heard of him before.
So that could be it. They're like, hey, we need a new character.
And let's see, Hush is still locked in the Batcave. Da-da-da. But yeah, Batman comes face to face with Ra's al Ghul, and Ra's tells him and convinces him that he's not the one behind everything that's going on. He's basically still in a hospital bed because remember how was it last week you said you wanted some kind of like them to at least acknowledge Damian's existence.
Yep.
Ra's is still in a hospital bed because he said something about falling into a ravine, and I think that's what happened when Batman went to get Damian's body to bring him back to life when he was confronting Ra's.
Okay, that's tying those timelines together on what's going on when.
Yeah, so so right now this part of Eternals, I guess, is happening after that. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I just wish they'd quit running him around. Reveal who it is already.
Yeah, I really like Batman Eternal. There's a lot of layers to it,
Mm-hmm.
but in some ways I feel like it's stretched out way too long.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about weekly series because they they have a story and then they just feel like they gotta stretch it out.
I really like the way it began. Like I said, in a lot of ways I feel like they just keep stretching to where you're like you forget things. They're trying to make it very layered, a lot of different ways to get going about it, but at the same time it's kind of like I'm just getting tired of it in some ways because I'm like, you keep teasing, oh, this person's doing it, this is doing it, and then they're like, 4 issues later, you're still like, who's doing what?
Hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I'll give that one 3.
Intrigued.
They're dragging it out.
And yeah, I think that's part of the problem. Like, Eternal's a great series if you're reading it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I feel like it's getting drug out to where the individual issues are decent, but they're not that satisfying. But like right now, I'm reading Volume 1 of Eternal,
Mm-hmm.
which is the first 21 issues, and it's cool because you're reading it all in succession. That makes the story really come to life more.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
I think they could have done this whole story in half the issues.
I agree. I thought, like, I mean, it also makes me think back how Eternal starts. I mean, the first page of issue 1 is Batman with Bruce Wayne with his mask off, tied to the bat symbol.
Oh yeah.
That's how it started. So
I guess we'll eventually find out who the mastermind is.
I thought it was gonna be more about Falcone. In a lot of ways, I feel like it is, but at the same time, there's so many other
Mm-hmm.
layers. All right, so what's next, Phil?
All right, Red Hood and the Outlaws 39. Don't get me started on this. It's okay. It starts with Jason Todd. You probably haven't been reading Red Hood, right?
I've read some. I've been reading Red Hood in the trades,
Mm-hmm.
so I haven't been reading it by the weekly issues.
He's last couple issues he's been like pumping Venom to make himself stronger, but then
That's always smart.
Yeah, but then in the first 2 or 3 pages of this issue, he kicks it. He throws it. They're in the plane. He throws it all like in the ocean. No problem. It took Batman a month to kick it, but yeah, no, this Jason Todd kid will kick it in 2 seconds.
It took Roy a while to kick it, and let's just throw this realistically, okay? I can't kick drinking cherry Coke. I love that stuff. You're gonna tell me he's addicted to a drug that makes you stronger and more powerful, and he kicks it like that?
Yeah, I mean
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, and there was a storyline in Legends of the Dark Knight, the original Venom storyline, where Batman was taking it, and it took him like a month to kick it.
Yeah, and that's Batman.
He had to lock himself in the cave for a month. Yeah.
And grew a beard.
Uh-huh.
It was an interesting story. I mean, it showed Batman at like this weak stage, and then
Mm-hmm.
But all right, well, if I mean, he is brought back from the dead after all, so he just gave him that extra power over relieving himself of drugs.
Yeah. And then they're going after Starfire, who reunites with her sister. And then all of a sudden, somewhere, Rose Wilson just pops up with Red Hood and Roy, and then they all find Starfire, and Rose thinks she's gonna like take on Starfire for some reason. Everyone, that's Deathstroke the Terminator's daughter, but still, she thinks she's gonna somehow beat Starfire, who can arm wrestle Superman.
People, it's one of those. Everyone has a death wish, or they have that I can beat this person.
Mm-hmm. But then eventually, Starfire knocks Rose around for a while, and then eventually everything's all hunky dory. But then they see there's an alien invasion coming. With on the last page, right behind them, always that new alien. What's his name? Hellspawn.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're just winding down the series because there's only like another issue or two before they're giving Starfire her own series, and then there's going to be a Red Hood and Arsenal book.
See, I think that'll be a cool book.
I don't know. I would like to see a Red Hood solo book.
Yeah, I think that would be cool though.
Yeah.
See him out there.
It's fighting like too many aliens and stuff. I mean, let's get some more street level stuff.
I'm just trying to think. Like, it would be cool if we don't have Nightwing right now. He's off in Grayson. So why don't Red Hood go to Bloodhaven and start over? We haven't. I don't even know if they've really addressed Bloodhaven that much in the New 52.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have they even mentioned? They might have mentioned it, but yeah, I don't know if we've really even seen Bloodhaven.
I don't think we've seen it. There might have been a back reference to Nightwing before.
Mm-hmm. Could have been. All right. Well, you know what? The issue is kind of ridiculous. I'm giving it a 2.
All right.
My first 2. Okay. All right. A lot of Bat books, people. DC likes their Bat books right now. Next one is because they sell
money makers. That's why.
Yeah, but
they always say if there's a good team that's on a book that's failing, throw them on a Bat book, they'll bounce back.
Yeah. But the next one is Batwoman 39, and don't ask me what's going on lately. They brought back old villain Nocturna. She's kind of with Batwoman now, and she kind of made her a vampire, but like half the time you don't even know she's a vampire. I don't think she even knows she's a vampire, really.
That's really weird.
Batwoman, yeah. And they kind of showed one issue like a few months back, and then they kind of flashed back to show how Batwoman's going to be teaming up with like Ragman, Etrigan the Demon, Clayface.
Let's just pause for a minute. Ragman? Really?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Ragman before?
I don't think so, but that's just a horrible name.
He wears a suit of rags, but like it's made up of like a bunch of rags, but each rag is like possessed by like the soul of like killers and stuff. That's
like almost like a really bad Mystery Man character.
He's been around for a while because I remember reading about him in the '90s. He was in There was like issue 2. He was in Batman in the '90s. But I don't know. The issue's totally confusing.
I read Batwoman's interesting.
Yeah.
I read the first volume and everything, but
yeah. But get your hands on this too, because I think this is getting canceled after Convergence too.
Yeah.
And finally, Batbook-wise, like I said, a lot of Batbooks is Batgirl 39. Have you been reading Batgirl?
I have, but I just haven't been. Like I said, that's another one that I just haven't been catching up on the weeklies. I would like to. I caught up all the way up until I think around issue 37, 38. No, 35.
Well,
when they did the costume change and the new creative team took over is where I haven't read from.
Okay. Well, yeah, now she's living in the Burnside section of Gotham, and yeah, she changed the costume. Now it's like more, I don't know, she seems to be going, like with her costume and everything else, she seems to be going low tech, but I don't know if they're trying to, pander to the teenage crowd, because, there's a lot of texting and every issue, and...
Interesting.
Yeah, and there was like there was, a reality TV star will pop up, or...
I guess it seems like they're trying to gear Batgirl more towards the demographic of young teenage girls.
Yeah, because I think DC said they're trying to be more, they want to hit a wider audience.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I just, they're making them more Batgirl. They're emphasizing the girl part, even though Barbara is in her 20s. Because, they're continuing on from previous stories. So, instead of having her as a young girl, but... But
the end of the issue is kind of intriguing because, like, well, last issue, I think it was last issue, she was on a date with a guy, and he got a call, and supposedly this guy knows all about, like, her past, but meanwhile she's been getting calls from someone who's pretending to be Barbara, telling him all about her past. And then she meets up with her roommate, who figures out she's Batgirl, and she's like, yeah, I'm Batgirl, and then, like the last page, that all of a sudden the computer screen fires up and says, no, you are not, and there's a picture of Barbara on the screen, and she says, I'm going to take back what's mine, so I don't know if there's a computer program that thinks it's Barbara, or...
The Oracle program? I don't know. I mean, are we looking at doing, I don't know, like, are we looking at, let's see, just trying to think outside the box right now. We know it's Barbara, her roommate. I don't know, maybe, I don't even know if it'd be James Jr. messing with her, because he disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. She was working on a computer program for, like, college and stuff, but then she kind of lost some of the stuff, so I don't know. Maybe if she even, like, scanned her brain or something. I don't know.
It could be interesting. I mean, we know it's not going to be one of those, like, Stephanie Brown type where she's Batgirl, because she's been presented in a whole different light now, and her whole thing's going on in Eternal, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move along. We'll get to since we need something for the Flash Green Arrow review, which is brought to you by the Flash Arrow Power Hour podcast, the Flashpoint podcast, and the Fast Talkers podcast, I will throw in Justice League 39.
Oh, yeah.
Because, well, one, the Flash is in it. It's the last part of the Amazo virus story.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone else is infected. It comes down to Superman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor to stop the infected.
Sounds intriguing.
And Lex needs Superman's blood to kind of come up with a cure, so they go off, and it's basically Wonder Woman versus everyone else.
She can handle it.
Until she gets help from Captain Cold.
Captain Cold.
He was kind of hitting on her, too. He was like, she called him Leonard. He's like, oh, I like it you say Leonard.
Yeah, I see him doing that, too.
So basically, yeah, they fight off the infected. Lex comes up with a cure, finally. And they cure everyone except for the original patient.
The Patient Zero?
Patient Zero, yeah. And since he continues to mutate, guess who he becomes?
Amazo?
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
How did you guess?
I don't know. I'm smart.
And then you know that new girl Power Ring who's been with them, who's wearing the Power Ring of
Yeah, left over from the good old
the Crown Syndicate and Forever Evil. Yes. Well, she's talking to the Flash and she says she wants to learn how to get more control over the ring. So the Flash says, "Oh, I called someone who can help you with that." And guess who's sitting outside the Watchtower?
Who?
Hal Jordan.
Sweet.
He's back, because I swear he hasn't been in Justice League, I think, since like issue
12.
10 or 12. Yeah.
Because he left
It's been a
during...
while.
I
mean, it was before.
It was right after they fought that dude. What was his name? Who was the author who went into that tunnel, who was possessed by like the ghosts of his family or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
after
yeah.
they
But I was gonna
fought
say,
him, Graves. After they fought him is when they came back out and he left.
It was before Forever Evil and all that.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Last page is Hal Jordan just floating outside. He goes, "So where's Batman? I want to see the look on his face when he hears Green Lantern's back."
No, see, I can't remember right now in the New 52. What's Jon Stewart up to? Do you know?
He's in Green Lantern Corps. He's off in space with the rest of the Green Lantern Corps, which is where Hal's been too. That's why he hasn't been in Justice League. But I guess now they're bringing him back.
I knew where Kyle and Guy were. I knew an assignment somewhere.
They were all off in space, but I guess they're bringing Hal back. Because I was gonna say, I don't think any of them have really been on Earth for a while.
Which is sad.
Yeah, I know.
How you do that to us, DC?
I want to see Hal Jordan back on Earth, fighting guys on Earth.
So, what other books we got going on?
Let's see. Oh wait, Justice League. I'll give that a 4.5.
It's always.
But all right. I got the next segment. The Superman books is brought to you by The Last Daughter of Krypton, the Supergirl podcast, hosted by Tyler Patrick, and you can catch the first episode out now.
Oh yeah. It's a new show. It's up and running, and we appreciate listener feedback.
And I listened to it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir.
And I got 2 books. The first one we'll do Batman Superman 19, where it seems like, they keep saying Superman has like his own Joker now.
Yeah. I want to get into this storyline. I missed the first couple of issues, and I'm trying to find back issues so I can jump into it. It just looks so interesting.
Well, they go in the can door because that's where the whole thing started. The guy's like a evil Kryptonian scientist.
Okay.
So they go in. They're trying to stop this guy from getting out of Kandor and hitting people on Earth like he's been doing. And what's his Kryptonian name is like Xadu XADU, but he's calling himself a much cooler name, the Phantom King.
That is cooler.
Yeah. And so Batman, Superman, Supergirl go in the Kandor to try to stop him, but meanwhile, he at the end of the issue they show he's got possession of a bunch of people, including what is this? I think it's like Superman's aunt or something.
Would that be Kara's mom?
I don't know if it's Kara's parents. I think it might be like another sibling of one of his parents, maybe.
Okay. So his mom's sister, maybe. We don't know what his mom's family line was like.
Most of the issue was just like the big battle in Kandor.
Those are always fun. When you're reading, just kind of like, oh, that's cool. But then to talk about it, you're like, yeah. So in this panel, Superman punches a dude in the face, and in this panel, Batman kicks the guy.
Superman punches a guy in the face at the end.
He couldn't survive much after that.
Alright, so the other super book I have, of course, that's brought to you by The Last Daughter of Krypton, the Supergirl podcast, is Supergirl 39. And I'm sure you've been reading Supergirl.
I have. I actually am going to reread the entire series so far, and have a review of the new 52s on Kara coming up in an episode.
So how would you describe this storyline so far?
Of Kara, or just the current one?
The current one.
I don't know. It's interesting. Kara's...
She's like was it like an intergalactic school?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think the books start out super strong, and now I don't know how I feel, but I still like it. So.
And they brought Superboy in.
His story is so hard to keep track of right now. Because, I'm trying to remember what happened in Teen Titans where he, was sent through time or something, and...
Well, yeah, he was the clone, but then they brought in, an evil, alternate reality version that was, Superman's son, but then I think he's gone now, and the clone's back, yeah.
Something like that. I'm just like, wow. So...
But, yeah, it's basically people chasing after Superboy. Supergirl's trying to protect him, and then there's the dude at the school who's trying to take over the school. Imagine... And then the main bad guy behind the school takeover wants to clone Superboy. He wants to clone the clone, he said. This
reminds me of, the way that they just kind of, I don't know, do Doomsday. Where you just kind of keep, cloning the thing over and over and over and over until it becomes crazy.
Boo. But I was going to say, what I thought I had about this story? You want to sum it up? Alright everyone, think of Harry Potter with Kryptonians. And aliens.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
I'm willing to give this till the end, the past final judgment. I think I'll give it another 3.
Okay. I think there's some stories that just, as individual issues, they're okay, but when you finally get them, fleshed out where you're looking at the entire story, it's so much better.
Yeah, like I said, we're living in the age of graphic novels, so they, every arc has to be 6-7 issues.
Which isn't bad. So.
Yeah. Alright, so I have 3 books left, and this portion, of course, is brought to you by the Channel 52, the DC podcast, hosted by Lilith, Tyler, and Charlie. And, alright, the first issue is Green Lantern New Guardians 39. Where Cal is fighting off his evil dark half, Oblivion. And Oblivion is telling Cal that he's a part of his mind, that he knows the power. That basically, he tells Cal, you have the life equation in you, and eventually you're gonna try to, dominate the universe and everyone you love. So you invented me to keep you in line.
Which is deep.
Yeah. Zen. So once again, most of the issue is like a fight in Cal's mind or near him as him and Oblivion go at it. How do you fight your own mind? But he told Carol Ferris, who is Star Sapphire, to leave, but she comes back with reinforcements, the Guardians, Saint Walker, the Blue Lantern.
Which I like Saint Walker a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now that he actually has hope again.
I always like the Blue Lanterns.
And I knew this one was getting canceled, but I'm pretty sure the next one is the last issue because it says next. This is issue 39. It says next. 39 down, 1 to go.
Which is, it's tough, but...
So, is Cal gonna live?
Doesn't matter with Convergence coming. That's the problem.
That's what I was gonna say. They could kill whoever. He might die. They could kill off whoever they want and just bring everyone back after.
That's the one thing I
Convergence.
hate when they start like DC plans to do Convergence, blah, blah, and I'm like, well, okay, that just makes everything that's going on right now just doesn't matter to you.
Those are going to be some fun episodes we do when Convergence hits, because each issue we're going to have to explain, well, this is this era, this is like the 80s era, the 90s era.
Look, this is what happened in the book. I have no idea how it ties into anything else or what else, but this is this book. If you have questions, Google it.
No, we're Google. Alright, next up is Teen Titans number 7. Basically, the Titans are working with a Star Labs employee, Manchester Black.
Oh, nice. From,
I'm sure he can be trusted. Huh.
what was it called? The Elite.
Yep. But anyway, he wants them to stop these terrorists breaking the Star Labs, and they steal a bunch of devices, one of which they say they can just erase a city, so they're going to erase New York City.
Okay.
And meanwhile, the Titans are going to try to stop them, but they also have a machine that, like, I guess stops time everywhere but where these terrorists are at, so they can complete their work. But for some reason, thanks to Raven's powers and Beast Boy becomes some kind of mayfly that keeps them from being frozen in time.
Interesting.
So they wreck the time freezing machine, and the other Titans show up, and they save New York.
It's interesting if you think about it and get like real deep with it. Like if somebody's out of time but frozen in time, like time's passing, but yet it's not at the same time. I don't know.
I guess they were saying for the people frozen, it seemed like time was moving normally, but like to them, the terrorists got like months worth of work done in like seconds or minutes.
It's just crazy, but cool at the same time.
Yeah. But the only thing that bugs me about this is like all the Titans. I mean, I can see Red Robin, but it seems like all the Titans live on their own.
Yeah, no one's chilling in Titan Tower together, having fun. Eat pizza.
Or like no one's even like living at home, because it seemed like Wonder Girl's mother didn't even live in the same city as her almost.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, they this new series, they had the first New 52 series, and they had this one, and yeah, that's the thing I've seen people talk about, is they said,
In some ways, I feel like the Teen Titans in general has suffered from the New 52 because the Teen Titans is built on all these sidekicks. So to have the Teen Titans, we have to somehow rush these sidekick storylines and present all these sidekicks, and it doesn't always, mesh the greatest, because you're trying to get all this like backlog story in about who was a Titan, who wasn't a Titan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the one book that suffered the most.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the book's decent, but yeah, a lot of people have been saying that like they don't hang out. I don't know if they even have a headquarters. It just seems like they show up to fight evil together, and then it's like, if they do hang out, it's just in someone's apartment.
Weird.
Yeah. But I'll go with a standard 3. It's a 3-week.
Okay.
Seems to be. Alright, and the final issue I have is Future's End 42.
And how is the
And
Future's End going?
Well, Brainiac's still attacking. We got Superman, Shazam. We're going to try to slow this down. Cyborg and Atom are out there. And then meanwhile, Batman's trying to stop Mr. Terrific and Brother Eye from taking over also.
I really can't wait till all of Future End is out in trade, because I really want to read it, but I feel like this is one of those storylines that they have taken so far. Like, it could have been a shorter event.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, technically Forever Evil was only 7 issues of the main story spread out for the other books, too, but...
Yeah, there's so much stuff, especially the Red Robin story. They could have done that in so fewer issues.
I think that's one of the things that just with Future's End, I was just kind of like, no. It just seemed like they were just going to do so much with it.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like, after they show Terry McGinnis fighting the Joker, Bruce Wayne, like half and half cyborg. But it looks like they're actually gonna like push back Brainiac, but now Brother Eye's taking over everything.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if he was using Brainiac as a distraction. It's like, here, come here, do my dirty work.
Brainiac's so pivotal. Like, I need to find his issue because there's been different style, like we talked about before, different kinds of Brainiacs. You know, we meet Brainiac in the end of the first arc of Action Comics. We meet Brainiac at Superman Doomed. And here we are back with Brainiac again.
No.
I do think Brainiac is the scariest villain in the DC comics.
Scarier than Doomsday?
Well, here's why, okay? Brainiac, to the average person, all he has to do is get in our computers and completely cripple the world. You know, he can kill everybody by turning off the power, by turning off the machines for life support.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can launch...
shrink cities.
He can shrink cities, but he can launch all of our nuclear weapons at us at the same time. Doomsday is one physical threat that if Superman was smart, he would punch him in the air, fly up and grab him, then just chuck him into space. And be done with him. It's like a 3-punch fight, okay? Honestly. It'd be so quick that they actually want to brawl. I'm like, no, just punch him up and just chuck him into space. Yeah, I might not kill him, but he's just going to float around in space.
Yes, but he has so much knowledge, he can defeat people.
Exactly.
Alright, so, let me see, Future's End. Once again, it's in the middle of a story. I'll give it, art's good, story's getting there, I'll give it a 4.
You brought up something we haven't really touched on before, is when you have that book where the art is amazing, but the story is or you have that where the story is good, but the art is just not what you want it to be. And that's what I hate, is when you're reading a comic, you're like, I love this story, but I really don't like this artwork.
Oh, I hate that. I can get through most art, except for, like, when they do, there's certain artists who do, like, I don't know, their art is so abstract, you can hardly tell which character you're looking at.
Yeah, especially sometimes with, I think it's harder when you get, like, certain characters, like Batman, Tim Drake, Superman, when they're not in their costumes. I think the artists haven't really nailed down what they look like out of costume. And when they're doing a panel or something together, you can't tell who's who until they're in costume. And then you're like...
But no, but just like the like real sloppy art, like you read Batman Arkham Asylum, right? That art, like that, where it's like so, you're just like, is that a person standing there?
Exactly. Like, I've tried to read that book, and the story is good, but the art it's good, but it's not, for me, it's not good to read, because I don't like the comic print when it looks like handwriting, and everything I'm reading looks like cursive or someone's handwriting. It's so small, I just can't read it. So, but alright, is that all the books for this week?
Yes, that's all the books.
Alright, man. Well, that sounds good.
Alright, everyone. Give us your thoughts, feelings. Do you need recommendations on books, anything? You can get a hold of me at nightwingpdp@gmail.com or on Twitter at nightwingpdp. And Tyler?
You can get a hold of me at jtypatrick at gmail or on Twitter at the same. So, hit us up.
Alright, well then, I guess that's it. Once again, I am Phil Parrish, your Batman.
And I am Tyler Patrick, your Superman.
And we are the world's finest.